Oh, hi. This is Quintus Jett from Abundance for America. And so I'm taking time out of my day to answer more publicly the kinds of questions I've been asked really probably for the past day, which was what do you think is going to happen about New Hampshire? And I decided to call this Andrew Yang's New Hampshire deadline, thinking about what he was saying about his kids. Because remember, Andrew Yang has small kids, and apparently they're kind of young, and so they may not really understand what he's doing. And so basically, what he's told his kids is that Tuesday, Daddy has a deadline. And so yes, Andrew Yang has a deadline coming up, and this is going to be very important given the results from the Iowa caucus, where his support was in the single digits there, and so I think we can be pretty sure that there's pressure on him already to drop out, whether it's some of the establishment Democrats or even just in terms of media, because they have so many other candidates. There's some people who are just thinking, well, we'll just get on with it. So there is some questions about that. About going forward. First, I want to say something about the debate. One thing I noticed about this debate overall was actually in the reaction. So pretty much this is, in certain ways, very similar to every single debate that's happened. Pretty much every debate that's happened since June. Yang Gang, people who support Andrew the most, are always disappointed immediately after the debate. Always. Maybe because it's there's such high expectations on the impact. So we're excited by Andrew, and we think that other people will be excited, or he'll get lots of speaking time, and there'll be a moment. And that doesn't happen. I mean, part of it's his personality, but also he's not a front runner, so he's not going to get as much time as the others. That's just not really going to happen. But pretty much this seems to have followed type, as there's a wave of disappointment among Yang Gang in the immediate wake of the debate. But a lot of people who see it, who are just seeing Andrew for the first time, or even have seen him before, they are like, wow, he really answered, what he said made a lot of sense, and he thinks differently than other people, and yeah, I'm glad he's on their stage. And so I think there's a little bit of that going on. And I also think that this debate, I think, reinforced something that I think we saw in Iowa, which is this is a truly competitive race. I mean, we have a number of candidates, not counting Yang, but there's even another 4 or 5 candidates, or 6 candidates that are really have a points to make. Whether so Biden, Warren, Sanders, but then Buttigieg, is sort of has had a bump from Iowa. Amy Klobuchar had some good strong points to make, and even Tom Steyer. So basically, this is a truly competitive race, and it's competitive to the point where I'm kind of it wouldn't surprise me in Iowa if we had the same kind of even split across different candidates. It's to the point where, last time in 2016, where it was pretty much Sanders versus Hillary Clinton, Bernie had, I think, close to, or maybe just about 50%. I would be very surprised if there was one candidate with 50% on Tuesday night. In fact, I mean, if there's a candidate that has over 30%, I'm gonna be, wow, that's pretty solid, because we have so many candidates with a case to make that might be appealing to people. So what does that mean about what's going to happen? What do I expect from Andrew Yang? I think a lot of what's going to happen, in some ways, I think has very little to do directly with Andrew Yang and some of the campaign efforts. A lot of it has to do, as I see it, with where the public is, where the public's mind is today, given what's happened with impeachment, and sort of how that Trump's still in office, and just how's that really going to affect as things move forward. So to the extent that the public, especially the public in New Hampshire, is hungry for an outsider who's bringing up things that no one else is bringing up, to the extent that that's the case in New Hampshire, he's going to do like better than expected. To the extent that you have a number of Republicans or people who are, let's say, no party affiliation but tend to vote Republican, who feel strongly enough and attracted enough to Andrew Yang to come over and vote in the Democratic primary. To the extent that that happens, that could affect things. The other side is maybe, Andrew Yang, especially when you look at him on the way sometimes he's presented on stage, he's very much one of the underdogs in this race. So to the extent that people in New Hampshire are hungry for an underdog, or they feel a sense of like, well, the sense of being so much of what's happening with Trump, and if Trump seems to be ascendant in what he's doing, that maybe people just decide, hey, we just want an underdog. That might affect things. Even in how, even the surface things, like sort of how Andrew Yang is non-white and child of immigrants. Maybe that in the electorate, maybe people are saying, we want someone different, like than what we normally see. And then finally, what's also interesting is that Andrew Yang seems to have crossed some barrier at some point within the past month. He's almost become like a cultural figure. So before the previous debate, just before that, just after that debate that he didn't attend, he's on Stephen Colbert, and he was welcomed so much, and so more people are, in the popular culture, Andrew Yang is out there. So in a sense, it's almost at the point that Andrew could if you want to, he could probably suspend his campaign, like his formal campaign efforts with the commercials and all that, and he could just make appearances speaking as a candidate, and there'll probably be a certain kind of momentum for that. And there's a lot of ecosystem within the Yang Nation in terms of content production and reproduction and re-editing that would probably keep his name out there to some extent. So where this goes from here is I'm going to be doing some analysis of the New Hampshire results, because of this result, there are going to be a lot of interesting things, I think, from this race to be revealed in terms of candidates. So I'm going to do some analysis on that and turn that around this week, and so I'm looking forward to that. And so if you find this useful, please just like our page, like this, share it to other people in the Yang Nation who are wondering. I never claim that I'm not going to claim I'm absolutely right on things, but I am pretty good at sort of observing things and providing useful food for thought for the ways going forward. Take care.